Captain Jake Morrison sat in his chair on the bridge of the cargo ship New Horizon. He was tired after 3 weeks of flying through space. His crew was also ready to go home. They had delivered supplies to 5 different colonies, and now they were heading back to Earth. Jake was 32 years old and had been flying ships for 10 years. He was not tall, but he was strong. His brown hair was getting gray at the sides, and his blue eyes were always watching everything around him. The crew trusted him because he always made good decisions. The New Horizon was not a big ship. It could carry cargo and had room for 12 people. Jake's crew was small, but they worked well together. Dr. Lisa Parker was the ship's doctor. She had short red hair and green eyes. She could fix almost any injury. Ben Rodriguez was the engineer who kept the ship running. He was quiet but very smart about machines. They were flying through a part of space called the neutral zone. This was an area where no government controlled the space lanes. It was dangerous because pirates sometimes attacked ships there. But it was also the fastest way to get home. Jake was drinking coffee and reading reports when the ship's computer made a loud beeping sound. The communications officer turned around in his chair. "Captain, we are getting a distress signal," he said. His name was Pete Walsh, and he was young but good at his job. Jake sat up straight. "Where is it coming from?" Pete looked at his screen. "About 2 hours away at full speed. The signal is weak, but it sounds like someone is in real trouble." Jake stood up and walked over to Pete's station. He could hear the signal through the speakers. It was not in any language he knew. The voice sounded scared and desperate. "Can you tell what kind of ship it is?" Jake asked. Pete shook his head. "The signal is too weak. But whoever they are, they need help fast." Ben Rodriguez came up from the engine room. He had oil on his hands and looked worried. "Captain, if we go help them, we might run into pirates. They sometimes use fake distress signals to trap cargo ships like ours." Jake knew Ben was right. Many ships had been lost that way. Pirates would send out a fake call for help and then attack when good people came to rescue them. But Jake also knew that if someone really needed help and he did nothing, he would never forgive himself. Dr. Parker came onto the bridge. She had heard them talking. "If someone is hurt, they might die while we stand here thinking about it," she said. Jake looked at his crew. They were all good people, but they were also scared. The neutral zone was full of dangers. Pirates, broken ships, and worse things floated in the dark between the stars. "I know it might be a trap," Jake said, "but we cannot leave someone to die. If you want to vote against it, I will understand." The crew looked at each other. Pete spoke first. "I trust your judgment, Captain. If you think we should help, then we help." Ben nodded slowly. "The ship can handle it. And we have weapons if we need them." Dr. Parker smiled. "That is why I like working on this ship. We do the right thing even when it is hard." Jake felt proud of his crew. Set course for the distress signal. Full speed. The New Horizon turned and began flying toward the signal. Jake went back to his chair, but he did not sit down. He was too nervous. Something felt strange about this situation, but he could not say what it was. 2 hours later, they found the source of the distress signal. It was a ship unlike anything Jake had ever seen. It was long and thin with strange curves. The metal was silver and black. Parts of it were glowing with a blue light, but other parts looked damaged. "I have never seen a ship like that," Pete said. "The computer does not recognize it either. Are there any life signs?" Jake asked. Dr. Parker was using the medical scanners. "Yes, I am reading 4 life forms, but they are not human. The readings are strange. I think they are hurt badly." Jake made his decision quickly. "Ben, bring us close to their ship. Pete, try to contact them and let them know we are here to help." Pete tried different radio frequencies. Finally, a weak voice came through the speakers. It was speaking a language none of them knew, but the tone was desperate. "They cannot understand." "U.S.," Pete said. "Keep trying," Jake ordered. "Use the computer to find a translation program." The New Horizon moved closer to the damaged alien ship. Jake could see that it had been in a fight. There were burn marks on the hull, and atmosphere was leaking out of several holes. "Captain," Dr. Parker said, "the life signs are getting weaker. If we are going to help them, we need to do it now." Jake thought fast. He could dock the ships together and try to rescue whoever was inside, but that would put his crew in danger if it was a trap. He could also just call for help and wait for someone else to come, but by then it might be too late. "Ben, dock us to their ship. Dr. Parker, get the medical bay ready. Pete, keep trying to talk to them." Ben worked the controls and slowly brought the New Horizon next to the alien ship. There was a loud clank as the two ships connected. The airlock made a hissing sound as it sealed. Jake grabbed a pistol and put on a breathing mask. "Ben, you stay here and watch the ship. Pete, monitor. Communications. Dr. Parker, come with me, but stay behind me." Jake opened the airlock door and stepped into the alien ship. The air was thick and smelled strange. Emergency lights were flashing red. He could hear someone breathing heavily nearby. The inside of the ship was different from human ships. The walls were curved and the ceiling was higher. Everything was made of the same silver metal. Jake followed the sound of breathing down a corridor. He found them in what looked like the bridge of the ship. There were 4 aliens lying on the floor. Jake had never seen beings like them before. They looked somewhat like humans, but taller and stronger. They had pale blue skin and long white hair. 3 of them appeared to be young females. The 4th was older and looked like their mother. The older alien was badly burned. Her breathing was shallow, and her eyes were closed. The 3 younger ones were unconscious, but did not seem as badly hurt. "Dr. Parker, get over here," Jake called. Dr. Parker came running with her medical bag. She knelt down next to the injured aliens and began checking them with her scanner. "The older one has severe plasma burns," she said. "The others have been poisoned by something in the air. We need to get them to our medical bay right away." Jake did not hesitate. He picked up the oldest alien and carried her toward the airlock. She was heavier than a human woman, but Jake was strong. Dr. Parker helped him move the 3 younger aliens one by one. Back on the New Horizon, Dr. Parker worked for hours to save them. Jake helped her by holding equipment and following her instructions. The older alien was the most badly hurt. Dr. Parker had to operate on her burns and give her medicine to help her breathe. The 3 younger aliens woke up first. When they saw Jake and Dr. Parker, they tried to sit up and reach for weapons that were not there. Jake held up his hands to show he meant no harm. "Friends," he said slowly, "we help you." The aliens looked confused, but they could see that Dr. Parker was taking care of their mother. Slowly, they relaxed a little. 18 hours later, the older alien finally opened her eyes. She looked around the medical bay, and then at Jake. Her eyes were a deep purple color and very intelligent. She tried to speak, but her voice was too weak. Jake brought her water and helped her drink. She studied his face for a long time. Then she tried to speak again. "You saved us," she said in broken but understandable English. Jake was surprised that she could speak his language. "Yes, we heard your distress signal." The alien woman closed her eyes for a moment. When she opened them again, there were tears in them. "Why?" she asked. "We are strangers to you." Jake thought about her question. Because it was the right thing to do. The older alien woman rested for 2 more days while Dr. Parker took care of her burns. Her 3 daughters stayed close to her bed. Jake learned their names slowly. The oldest daughter was called Kira. She had long silver hair and scars on her, arms from old battles. The middle daughter was Luna. She was shorter, but her muscles were bigger than the others. The youngest was Nova. She had bright purple eyes like her mother and moved like a dancer. Jake brought them food from the ship's kitchen. Human food was different from what they usually ate, but they were grateful. The daughters watched Jake carefully every time he came into the medical bay. They whispered to each other in their own language when they thought he was not listening. On the third day, the mother felt strong enough to sit up and talk. She told Jake her name was Zara and that she was a matriarch of the Valkyrie people. Jake had never heard of the Valkyrie before, but Zara explained that her people were warriors who lived on planets far from Earth. We were traveling to a peace meeting, Zara said. Her English was getting better each day. Pirates attacked our ship. They damaged our engines and poisoned our air system. We thought we were going to die. Jake sat in a chair next to her bed. What kind of pirates attack a ship going to a peace meeting? Zara's purple eyes became angry. The Skarn Empire. They do not want peace between our people and the Centauri Alliance. If the meeting had happened, there would be no more war in our sector. War? Jake asked. He knew there were always small fights happening in different parts of the galaxy, but he did not know about any big wars. For 50 years, the Valkyrie have been fighting the Skarn, Kira said. Her voice was deep and serious. They attack colonies and take slaves. We protect the innocent. Luna stepped forward. My mother was chosen to speak for all Valkyrie at the peace meeting. Now the meeting cannot happen. Nova, the youngest daughter, looked sad. Many more people will die because we failed. Jake felt sorry for them. Maybe you can still have your meeting. We can help repair your ship. Zara shook her head. Our ship is too damaged, and we missed the meeting time. The other leaders have already gone home. Dr. Parker came into the room with her medical scanner. You are healing well, she told Zara. But you need more rest. After Dr. Parker left, Zara looked at Jake with a strange expression. Captain Morrison, I must ask you something important. Why did you risk your ship and crew to save us? Jake thought about her question. Because you needed help. That is what good people do. But we are strangers, Zara said. We are not even the same species. You could have been killed by pirates. Your crew could have been hurt. That does not matter, Jake replied. If someone is in trouble and I can help, then I should help. Zara stared at him for a long time. Her daughters were also looking at him with serious expressions. Finally, Zara spoke again. Captain Morrison, in all my years as a warrior, I have never met a male with such honor. Most males in the galaxy think only of profit or power. You risked everything for strangers and asked for nothing in return. Jake felt uncomfortable with the praise. I just did what anyone would do. No, Kira said firmly. Most beings would not have stopped to help. They would have been afraid of pirates or worried about their own safety. Luna nodded. In Valkyrie, culture, honor is the most important thing. What you did shows the highest honor possible. We have a problem, Zara said slowly. In our society, when someone saves a family's life through pure honor, they create a sacred debt. This debt can only be repaid in one way. Jake did not like the sound of this. What kind of debt? Zara looked at her daughters. They all nodded. At her, Captain Morrison, according to the ancient laws of my people, I must offer you the greatest gift a Valkyrie matriarch can give. I offer you my 3 daughters as your bonded warriors. Jake's mouth fell open. What does that mean? It means they would serve you for the rest of their lives, Zara explained. They would fight for you, protect you, and follow your commands. In return, you would be responsible for their honor and their lives. Jake stood up quickly. No, I cannot accept that. They are not property to be given away. The three daughters looked surprised by his reaction. Kira stepped forward. Captain Morrison, you do not understand. This is the highest honor in our culture. We are not being given away like objects. We are choosing to serve a warrior who has proven his worth. But you do not even know me, Jake said. We met 3 days ago. You cannot decide to spend your whole lives serving someone you just met. Luna laughed, but it was not a mean laugh. Captain, we have watched you for 3 days. We have seen how you treat your crew with respect. We have seen how you put yourself in danger to help strangers. We have seen your honor, Nova spoke quietly. In our whole lives, we have never met a male who showed such courage without wanting something in return. Most males want to own us or use us. You just wanted to save us. Jake felt confused and frustrated, but I do not want servants. I want you to be free to make your own choices. This is our choice, Zara said. If you refuse our gift, the honor debt will remain forever. My daughters will be shamed in the eyes of our people. They will never be able to marry or have families of their own. Dr. Parker came back into the room and saw everyone looking serious. Is everything okay? Jake rubbed his forehead. He had a headache. Dr. Parker, these ladies want to become my servants for life because I rescued them. Dr. Parker raised her eyebrows. That seems extreme. It is our way, Kira said. Captain Morrison has shown warrior virtues that are rare in the galaxy. We would be honored to serve such a leader. But what about your own lives? Dr. Parker asked, do you not have dreams and goals of your own? Our dream is to serve with honor, Luna replied. We are warriors. We need a worthy leader to follow. Jake sat back down in his chair. This is crazy. I cannot accept people as gifts. Zara looked hurt. Are we so unworthy that you reject us? No, that is not what I mean, Jake said quickly. You are all obviously brave and skilled. But humans do not own other people. It is wrong. We would not be owned, Nova said. We would be bonded warriors. There is a difference. What is the difference? Dr. Parker asked. Slaves have no choice and no honor, Kira explained. Bonded warriors choose their leader and fight with pride. We can speak our minds and give advice. We can even leave if our leader becomes dishonorable. But you said it would be for life. Jake pointed out. Yes, but only if the bond remains honorable, Zara said. If you ever betrayed our trust or acted without honor, the bond would be broken. Jake looked at the 4 alien women. They were all watching him with hope in their eyes. He could see that this was very important to them, but he still did not understand their culture. I need time to think about this, he said finally. Of course, Zara replied. But please understand, Captain Morrison. In refusing our gift, you make the honor debt worse. The only way to clear it is to accept our offering or to do something even more honorable. Jake left the medical bay and went to his cabin. He sat on his bed and put his head in his hands. How had a simple rescue mission become so complicated? There was a knock on his door. Come in, he called. Dr. Parker entered and sat in the chair at his desk. Jake, I know this is strange, but maybe we should listen to what they are really saying. What do you mean? I think they are not talking about slavery, she said. They are talking about choosing to work with someone they respect, like how our crew chooses to work with you. But they said for life. Maybe that is just how they think about loyalty, Dr. Parker suggested. Some people change jobs every year. Others work for the same company their whole lives because they believe in what it does. Jake thought about this. But what would I do with 3 alien warriors? Dr. Parker smiled. From what I have seen, they are very smart and very skilled. Kira seems to understand tactics and strategy. Luna knows about weapons and fighting. Nova is an excellent pilot. They could be very helpful. You really think I should accept? I think you should talk to them more, Dr. Parker said. Find out what they really want and what this bond means to them. Maybe there is a way to make everyone happy. Jake nodded. You are right. I need to understand their culture better before I make a decision. Just remember, Dr. Parker said as she got up to leave, they chose to offer themselves to you. That means they see something special in you. Maybe you should ask yourself why. After she left, Jake sat in his cabin thinking. He had always tried to do the right thing, but he had never thought of himself as special. Now 3 alien warriors wanted to dedicate their lives to serving him. It was the strangest thing that had ever happened to him. Tomorrow, he would talk to them again. He would try to understand what being bonded warriors really meant. Maybe there was a way to help them satisfy their honor debt without making them his servants. But deep down, Jake was starting to realize that these 3 women were not asking to be his servants at all. They were asking to be his partners. The next morning, Jake went back to the medical bay. Zara was sitting up in bed, eating breakfast. Her daughters were sitting around her, talking quietly in their own language. When Jake entered, they all stopped talking and looked at him. Good morning, Jake said. How are you feeling, Zara? Much better, thank you, she replied. Dr. Parker says I can leave the medical bay today if I promise to rest. Jake pulled up a chair. I have been thinking about what you said yesterday, about the bonded warrior thing. I want to understand it better. Kira leaned forward. What do you want to know? Everything, Jake said. If I am going to make this decision, I need to know what it really means. Nova smiled for the first time since Jake had met her. We hoped you would ask. Zara nodded approvingly. A wise leader gathers information before making choices. This is why you are worthy of our service. Over the next hour, the 4 Valkyrie women explained their culture to Jake. They told him that Valkyrie society was built around honor and military service. Both males and females could be warriors, but the females were usually better at it. Families were led by matriarchs like Zara, who made important decisions for their children. When a Valkyrie chooses to become a bonded warrior, it is like joining a new family, Luna explained. The bond leader becomes like a father or older brother. We serve them, but they also protect and care for us. What kind of service? Jake asked. We would advise you on military matters, Kira said. We would protect you from enemies. We would help you make difficult decisions. And we would follow your orders in battle, Nova added. But we would also tell you if we think you are making a mistake. Jake was surprised. You would argue with me? Zara laughed. Of course. A bond leader who does not listen to advice is a fool. My daughters are warriors, not mindless soldiers. They have brains as well as strength. But what if I never go into battle? Jake asked. I am a cargo ship captain. I deliver supplies to colonies. It is not very exciting. Every job has dangers, Luna said. Pirates, mechanical failures, hostile aliens. A cargo captain needs protection and good advice, just like any other leader. And we could help make your ship better, Nova said eagerly. I know about engines and weapon systems. I could make the New Horizon faster and stronger. Kira nodded. I know about trade routes and galactic politics. I could help you find better contracts and avoid dangerous areas. Jake was beginning to see that having 3 skilled advisors might actually be helpful, but he still had concerns. What about your own lives? He asked. Do you not want to get married and have children? The 3 sisters looked at each other. Nova spoke first. Captain Morrison, we are not young anymore. I am 28 years old. Kira is 31, and Luna is 33. In human years, that might seem young, but Valkyrie mature faster. We have all had chances to marry, Kira said. But we never found males who were worthy of us. Most Valkyrie males want wives who will stay home and have babies. They do not want warrior partners. And males from other species usually want to own us or use us, Luna added. They see strong females as threats or prizes to be won. You are the first male we have met who treats us as equals, Nova said. You do not try to control us or make us weak. You respect our strength. Jake felt touched by their words, but also worried. What if I disappoint you? What if I am not as honorable as you think? Zara smiled. Then the bond would end and my daughters would be free to leave. But I do not think that will happen. Why not? Because you are worried about disappointing us, she said. A dishonorable male would not care about our feelings. He would just take what he wanted. Dr. Parker came into the medical bay carrying her scanner. Sorry to interrupt, but I need to check on our patient. We are finished for now, Zara said. Captain Morrison, please take time to think about what we have told you. We will not pressure you for an answer. Jake left the medical bay feeling less confused, but still uncertain. He went to the bridge where Pete was monitoring communications, and Ben was checking the ship's systems. Captain, Pete said, I have been listening to the local news broadcasts. There are reports of more pirate attacks in this sector. 3 cargo ships have been attacked in the last week. Any casualties? Jake asked. 2 ships escaped, but one was completely destroyed, Pete replied. 23 people died. Jake felt sick. Pirates were getting bolder and more dangerous. Maybe having 3 trained warriors on his ship was not such a bad idea. Ben came over from his station. Captain, I have been talking with the alien ladies about their ship. The damage is worse than we thought. It would take months to repair and cost more money than the ship is worth. So they are stuck with us? Jake asked. Unless they can find another way home, Ben said. But their home planet is 6 months away by commercial transport, and they do not have any money to pay for passage. Jake realized that the Valkyrie women had very few choices. They could not repair their ship, they could not afford to go home, and they had no way to contact their people. The honor debt was real, but it was also practical. They needed him as much as he might need them. That afternoon, Jake called a meeting with his crew. He told them about the Valkyrie offer and asked for their opinions. I think it could be good for us, Dr. Parker said. They have knowledge and skills we do not have. And frankly, this sector is getting more dangerous. We could use the protection. Ben nodded. Nova knows more about engines than I do. She showed me some modifications that could increase our speed by 20%. And Luna's weapons knowledge could help us defend ourselves better. Pete looked worried. But Captain, what if they tried to take over the ship? They are warriors. We are just cargo haulers. They had 3 days to take over the ship if they wanted to, Dr. Parker pointed out. Instead, they helped in the kitchen and offered to repair things that were broken. I trust your judgment, Captain, Ben said. You saved their lives, Wynn. You could have ignored their distress call. If you think they are honorable, then I believe you. Jake appreciated his crew's support, but the decision was still his to make. He spent the rest of the day watching the 3 Valkyrie women interact with his crew. They were polite and helpful. They asked questions about human culture and seemed genuinely interested in learning. That evening, Jake found Nova in the engine room with Ben. She was examining the power distribution system and making notes on a data pad. This is a good ship, she told Jake, but it could be much better with some improvements. What kind of improvements? Jake asked. Nova's eyes lit up. Better shielding, more efficient engines, upgraded weapon systems. Nothing too expensive, but changes that would make the ship safer and faster. You really know about all that? I have been working on ships since I was 16, Nova said. My mother wanted me to be a diplomat, but I loved engines and computers more than politics. Jake found Kira on the bridge, studying star charts with Pete. She was asking questions about trade routes and cargo schedules. Your shipping company could make more profit with better planning, she told Jake. You are taking the safe routes, but there are faster ways to reach your destinations if you know which areas to avoid. How do you know about shipping? Jake asked. Strategy is strategy, Kira replied. Whether it is moving troops or moving cargo, the principles are the same. You want to get from point A to point B as quickly and safely as possible. Jake found Luna in the cargo bay, examining their defensive systems. She was shaking her head sadly. These weapons are 20 years old, she told him. They might stop a small pirate ship, but they would be useless against a real attack. We have never needed more than this, Jake said. That was before pirates started using military-grade equipment, Luna replied. The attacks Pete mentioned today? Those pirates had warship weapons. Your current defenses would not even slow them down. Jake was beginning to understand that the three women were not just warriors. They were experts in different areas that could all help his ship and crew. Nova was an engineer and pilot. Kira was a strategist and planner. Luna was a weapons and security expert. That night, Jake lay in his bed thinking about everything he had learned. The Valkyrie women were smart, skilled, and honorable. They genuinely wanted to help him and his crew. They were not asking to be servants or slaves. They were asking to be partners. But Jake was still worried about the cultural differences. What if they expected him to be some kind of military commander? What if their idea of honor was different from his? What if accepting their bond somehow changed who he was? There was a soft knock on his door. Come in, he called. Dr. Parker entered and sat in the chair by his desk. Still thinking about the offer? Yes, Jake replied. I keep going back and forth. Part of me thinks it could be good for everyone, but part of me is scared of the responsibility. What responsibility? If I accept their bond, I become responsible for their lives and their honor, Jake said. That is a big responsibility. Dr. Parker smiled. Jake, you are already responsible for the lives of everyone on this ship. You make decisions every day that affect our safety and our future. Adding 3 more people to that responsibility is not as big a change as you think. But they are not just people, Jake said. They are warriors from a completely different culture. The next morning, Jake gathered everyone in the ship's common room. Zara was feeling much better and could walk around without help. Her 3 daughters sat beside her, waiting to hear Jake's decision. I have thought about your offer, Jake began. I want to accept the bond, but with some changes. Zara raised an eyebrow. What changes? I do not want servants or warriors who follow orders without question, Jake said. I want partners. I want advisors who can tell me when I am wrong. I want friends who choose to work with me because they believe in what we do. Kira smiled. That is exactly what we hoped you would say. So you accept our bond? Nova asked excitedly. I accept your partnership, Jake replied. We work together as equals. You help me make good decisions, and I promise to always try to be worthy of your trust. Luna stood up and bowed formally. Then we are bonded to you, Captain Morrison. Your honor is our honor. Your mission is our mission. The other sisters and their mother also bowed. Jake felt strange about people bowing to him, but he could see this was important to them. Welcome to the crew of the New Horizon, he said. Dr. Parker clapped her hands. This calls for a celebration. I will make a special dinner tonight. Then grinned, and I will show Nova those engine modifications she wanted to make. Pete looked excited too. Kira, can you really help us find better trade routes? I can try, Kira replied. But first, I need to study your shipping records and learn more about this sector. Everyone was in a good mood as they started making plans. But their celebration was interrupted by an urgent beeping from the communication system. Pete ran to the bridge and came back looking worried. "Captain, we are receiving a distress signal. It is coming from the Harmony colony." Jake frowned. "That is the farming colony about 6 hours from here." "What kind of distress?" "It sounds bad," Pete said. "They are under attack by multiple ships. They are asking for immediate help." Jake's heart sank. The Harmony colony had 8,000 people, mostly farmers and their families. They had no military defenses because they were in what was supposed to be a safe sector. "What kind of ships are attacking them?" Jake asked. Pete checked his equipment. "The signal is breaking up, but I think they said Skarn warships." Zara and her daughters suddenly became very alert. "Did you say Skarn?" Zara asked, double quotes, "Yes. Do you know about them?" "The Skarn Empire is the most dangerous enemy in this part of the galaxy," Kiara said grimly. "They attack colonies and take people as slaves. They do not care about age or whether people fight back." "How many ships?" Luna asked Pete. "At least 4, maybe more." "The colony's sensors are not very good." Jake felt sick. 4 Skarn warships against a defenseless farming colony. It would be a massacre. But what could one cargo ship do against warships? "Captain," Dr. Parker said quietly, "we have to try to help them." "With what?" Ben asked. "Our weapons are older than Pete. We would be destroyed in minutes." Luna stepped forward. "Not necessarily." "Captain Morrison, may I see the technical specifications of your ship?" Jake nodded, and Pete brought up the ship's information on a screen. Luna studied it carefully, while Nova looked over her shoulder. "The New Horizon is faster than it looks," Nova said. "With some modifications, we could outrun most warships." "But we cannot outfight them," Ben pointed out. "We do not need to fight them directly," Kira said. She was looking at star charts on another screen. "Captain, what do you know about the Shi? Broken Belt?" "It is an asteroid field near Harmony Colony," Jake replied. "Very dangerous to fly through. Most ships avoid it." Kira smiled, but it was not a happy smile. "The Skarn will avoid it too. Their warships are big and clumsy. They cannot maneuver well in tight spaces." "What are you thinking?" Jake asked. Diversion," Kira explained. "We go to Harmony Colony and get the Skarn ships to chase us. Then we lead them into the asteroid field, where their size works against them." "That sounds like suicide," Dr. Parker said. "Not if we do it right," Nova sighed. "I can modify the engines to give us more speed and maneuverability. Luna can upgrade our shields to handle asteroid impacts. And I can plot a course through the field that will trap the Skarn ships." Kira added. Jake thought about the plan. It was dangerous and probably impossible. But 8,000 innocent people were going to die if nobody helped them. "How long do you need to make the modifications?" he asked. 2 hours, Nova said. "Maybe less if Ben helps me." "Do it," Jake ordered. "Pete, send a message to Harmony Colony. Tell them help is coming." The next 2 hours were the busiest Jake had ever seen on his ship. Nova and Ben worked frantically in the engine room, making changes to the power systems. Luna upgraded the shields and weapons. Kira studied star charts and plotted courses through the asteroid field. Dr. Parker prepared the medical bay for casualties. Zara, who was still recovering from her injuries, insisted on helping despite Jake's protests. "My daughters are going into battle," she said. "I will not hide in my room while they risk their lives." When the modifications were complete, the New Horizon looked almost the same on the outside. But inside, everything was different. The engines hummed with more power. The shields glowed brighter. Even the artificial gravity felt stronger. "All systems ready, Captain," Nova reported from the pilot's seat. She had taken over flying duties from Pete, who was now handling communications and sensors. Harmony Colony is still under attack. Pete sighed. I am reading 4 large ships in orbit around the planet. They are bombarding the main city. Jake's jaw tightened. How long until we get there? At maximum speed, 45 minutes, Nova replied. Do it. The New Horizon jumped to maximum speed, racing toward the besieged colony. As they got closer, Pete's sensors showed them the full scope of the attack. 4 Skarn heavy cruisers, he reported. Each one is 3 times bigger than us. They have been bombing the colony for over an hour. Any sign of evacuation ships? Dr. Parker asked. 2 transport ships tried to leave, Pete said sadly. Both were destroyed. Jake felt anger building inside him. The Skarn were not just attacking a military target. They were slaughtering innocent families. Kira, is your plan ready? He asked. Yes, she replied from the tactical station. I have mapped a route through the asteroid field that will take us past 3 major clusters. If the Skarn ships follow us, they will have to navigate very carefully or risk collision. And if they do not follow us? Jake asked. Then we come back and try something else, Kira said. But I think they will follow. Skarn commanders hate being challenged. Their pride will not let them ignore us. Captain, Luna said from the weapons station, I have programmed our weapons to fire automatically at any Skarn ship that gets too close. It will not do much damage, but it will make them angry. Entering the Harmony system now, Nova announced. Through the view screen, Jake could see the 4 Skarn warships. They were huge, dark vessels with red markings on their hulls. Below them, the surface of Harmony Colony was burning. Pete, open a channel to the Skarn ships, Jake ordered. Channel open. Jake took a deep breath. Skarn vessels, this is Captain Jake Morrison of the New Horizon. You are attacking innocent civilians. Withdraw immediately or face the consequences. There was silence for a moment. Then a harsh voice replied in heavily accented English. Human cargo ship, you have no power here. Leave now or be destroyed. I do not think so, Jake replied. Nova, take us straight at the lead ship. Full speed. Nova grinned and pushed the engines to maximum. The New Horizon shot toward the massive Skarn cruiser like a missile. At the last second, she pulled up and over the warship, firing all weapons. The shots barely scratched the Skarn ship's armor, but Jake had not expected them to do damage. He just wanted to make the Skarn angry. It worked. All 4 Skarn ships immediately stopped bombarding the colony and turned to chase the New Horizon. They are following us, Pete reported. All 4 ships are in pursuit. Good, Kira said. Nova, take us toward the asteroid field. Maximum speed, but do not lose them. Nova skillfully piloted the ship toward the broken belt. The Skarn ships were faster in open space, but Nova kept just enough distance to stay ahead of their weapons. Entering the asteroid field, Nova announced. The view screen filled with tumbling rocks of all sizes. Some were as small as cars, others were as big as buildings. Nova flew between them with incredible skill, never slowing down. Behind them, the Skarn ships hesitated at the edge of the field. Jake held his breath, wondering if they would follow. Come on, he muttered. Your pride will not let you give up now. Finally, the lead Skarn ship entered the asteroid field. The others followed. Phase 1 complete, Kira said. Now comes the hard part. Nova flew deeper into the field, following Kira's pre-planned route. The asteroids got bigger and closer. Together, the New Horizon had to twist and turn constantly to avoid collisions. The Skarn ships were having much more trouble. Their massive hulls could not maneuver as quickly. Jake watched on the rear sensors as one of them scraped against a large asteroid, sending sparks flying. They are falling behind. Pete reported. Not far enough, Luna said. They are still shooting. At us. Energy beams flashed past the new horizon, sometimes coming very close. One shot hit a nearby asteroid and shattered it into 1,000 pieces. There, Kira pointed at the screen. The narrow passage ahead. If we can get through there, the Skarn ships will be trapped. Jake looked at the passage Kira was indicating. 3 days after the battle at Harmony Colony, the New Horizon was traveling toward Earth when they received an unexpected message. Pete looked surprised as he read the communication. Captain, we have an incoming transmission from a Valkyrie fleet, he announced. They are requesting permission to approach. Jake looked at Zara, who seemed just as surprised as everyone else. Did you contact your people? He asked. No, Zara replied. Our communication equipment was destroyed when the pirates attacked us. Kira checked the sensor readings. I count 12 Valkyrie warships approaching. That is a significant force. Are they here to take you home? Jake asked the 4 alien women. I do not know, Zara said honestly. But if they are, you should know that my people will want to hear about what happened here. Nova looked worried. Captain Morrison, Valkyrie fleets do not usually travel this far from our territory, unless something very important is happening. Put them on screen, Jake ordered. The main view screen showed an impressive Valkyrie warship. It was sleek and powerful, much larger than the New Horizon. A moment later, the image changed to show a stern-looking Valkyrie woman with silver hair and many battle scars. I am Admiral Vera of the Valkyrie Third Fleet, she said formally. I am looking for Matriarch Zara and her daughters. We received word that they were in this sector. Zara stepped forward. I am here, Admiral. My daughters and I are safe. The Admiral's expression changed from stern to relieved. Matriarch, we have been searching for you for 2 weeks. When you did not arrive at the peace meeting, we feared the worst. We were attacked by Skarn pirates, Zara explained. Our ship was destroyed. We would have died if not for Captain Jake Morrison and his crew. Admiral Vera's eyes shifted to, Look at Jake. You are the human who rescued them? Yes, Jake replied simply. I see. Matriarch Zara, please prepare to transfer to my ship. The Council of Matriarchs is very worried about you. Jake expected Zara to agree immediately. Instead, she looked thoughtful. Admiral, before we transfer, there are things you need to know. Captain Morrison did more than just rescue us. He has proven himself to be a warrior of the highest honor. What do you mean? Admiral Vera asked. My daughters have bonded with him according to our ancient laws, Zara said. And 3 days ago, he led them in a battle that saved 8,000 innocent lives. The Admiral's eyes widened. A human male? Bonded with your daughters? Matriarch, are you feeling well? Did your injuries affect your mind? Jake saw Kira's face turn red with anger, but she controlled herself. Luna's hand moved toward her weapon, but she stopped when Jake shook his head slightly. Admiral, Zara said with ice in her voice, I am perfectly well, and I suggest you show more respect when speaking about my Bond daughter's chosen leader. Forgive. Matriarch, Admiral Vera said quickly. But you must understand how unusual this is. No human has ever been bonded with Valkyrie warriors before. That is because no human has ever shown the level of honor that Captain Morrison possesses. Kira said, stepping forward. Admiral, with respect, you do not know what you are talking about. Admiral Vera looked shocked. It was clearly not normal for a younger Valkyrie to speak so boldly to an admiral. Perhaps, Jake said diplomatically, the admiral would like to hear the full story before making any judgments. Yes, Zara agreed. Admiral, request permission to come aboard the New Horizon. What we have to tell you is best said face to face. An hour later, Admiral Vera and 2 of her officers were sitting in the New Horizon's common room. Jake had asked Dr. Parker and Ben to join them, along with all 4 of the Valkyrie women. Zara told the complete story, starting with the pirate attack and ending with the battle at Harmony Colony. The Admiral listened without interrupting, but Jake could see her expression changing as the story continued. When Zara finished, Admiral Vera was quiet for a long time. Finally, she spoke. "Captain Morrison, may I ask you some questions?" "Of course," Jake replied. "When you rescued Matriarch Zara and her daughters, what did you expect to gain?" "Nothing," Jake said honestly. "They needed help. That was enough reason to help them." "And when they offered to bond with you, why did you accept?" Jake thought carefully about his answer. "At first, I did not want to accept. I thought they were offering to be my servants, and humans do not believe in owning other people. But when I understood what they really meant, I realized they were offering to be my partners. I accepted because I respected them and thought we could help each other." "And the battle at Harmony Colony," Admiral Vera continued. "Why did you risk your ship and crew to save strangers?" "Because it was the right thing to do," Jake said. 8,000 innocent people were going to die. If I could help them, I had to try." Admiral Vera nodded slowly. "Captain Morrison, in my 40 years as a warrior, I have fought alongside many brave males. But I have never met one who thought the way you do." "What do you mean?" Jake asked. "Most males think about honor in terms of personal glory," she explained. "They want to be seen as heroes. They want songs written about their victories. But you seem to think about honor in terms of duty to others." Dr. Parker smiled. "That is just how Jake is. He has always put other people first." "This is very interesting," Admiral Vera said. "Captain Morrison, would you be willing to come to our home world? The Council of Matriarchs would very much like to meet you." Jake looked at his crew and his Valkyrie partners. "What would that involve?" "A formal ceremony to recognize your bond with Kira, Luna, and Nova," Admiral Vera explained. "And probably many meetings with our leaders. They will want to learn about humans and see if our peoples can become allies." "Allies?" Jake was surprised. "Captain, what you did at Harmony Colony will be remembered for generations," Admiral Vera said. "One human ship defeated 4 scarring warships without killing anyone. That kind of tactical brilliance combined with moral courage is exactly what our peoples need in these dark times." Zara leaned forward. "Admiral, there is something else you should know. Captain Morrison has agreed to transform his ship into a multi-species exploration vessel. He wants to establish peaceful contact with new civilizations." "That is a worthy goal," Admiral Vera said, "and one that the Valkyrie people would be honored to support." Jake felt overwhelmed by everything that was happening. A week ago, he had been a simple cargo ship captain. Now he was being invited to alien worlds and offered military alliances. "I appreciate the offer," he said carefully, "but I need to think about this, and I need to talk to my own people first." "Of course," Admiral Vera said. "Take all the time you need. But Captain Morrison, I hope you will consider what we have discussed. The galaxy is changing. There are new threats emerging and old alliances breaking down. Leaders like you could help bring peace to many worlds." After Admiral Vera and her officers returned to their ship, Jake called another meeting with his crew and the Valkyrie women. "So," he said, "what does everyone think?" "I think it is an amazing opportunity, Doctor," Parker said. "Think about what we could accomplish with Valkyrie technology and resources." Ben nodded. "And I would love to learn more about their engineering techniques." Pete looked excited too. "Captain, we could be explorers instead of just cargo haulers. We could discover new worlds and meet new species." Jake turned to the Valkyrie women. "What about you? Do you want to go home?" "This ship is our home now. Kira said firmly. We have bonded with you. Where you go, we go. But what about seeing your families and friends? Jake asked. We will visit them, Nova said. But our place is here, with you and this crew. Luna smiled. Besides, someone needs to keep you out of trouble. If today proved anything, it is that you have a talent for finding dangerous situations. Zara laughed. My daughters speak the truth, Captain Morrison. You will need their protection in the adventures ahead. Jake looked around at all of them. A week ago, they had been strangers from different worlds. Now they felt like family. All right, he said finally. We will go to the Valkyrie home world. But we do this together as partners. No one gives orders to anyone else. We make decisions as a team. Agreed, Kira said, speaking for her sisters. Excellent, Zara said. Admiral Vera will be very pleased. Over the next few hours, they made plans for the journey. The Valkyrie fleet would escort the New Horizon to their home world. It would take 2 weeks to get there, which would give everyone time to prepare. Dr. Parker began studying Valkyrie biology and culture, so she could better understand their new allies. Ben worked with Nova to make more improvements to the ship. Pete started learning the Valkyrie language with help from Kira and Luna. Jake spent most of his time talking with Zara about what to expect when they reached the Valkyrie home world. She explained their customs and traditions and helped him prepare for the formal ceremonies. The Council of Matriarchs will test you, she warned. Not with weapons or physical challenges, but with questions about your beliefs and values. What kind of questions? Jake asked. They will want to know if you truly understand what it means to lead warriors, Zara explained. They will ask about your plans for the future and how you intend to use the bond with my daughters. And what? Should I tell them? Zara smiled. Tell them the truth. Tell them that you see my daughters not as weapons to be used, but as partners to be respected. Tell them that you want to explore the galaxy, not to conquer it, but to understand it.